Welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new. We're still continuing our lanyard series here in the advanced category, and in today's video I'll show you how to make the corkscrew stitch. It's basically if you take a wall, also known as the super brick, and you do the stitches diagonally. That's literally all this is. It's the same starting stitch and everything. So of course you're going to need 4 pieces of lace, one that's twice the length of one of your other pieces. So these 3 need to be shorter and 1 needs to be longer. So let's get started with that. Like I said before, it's the same starting stitch as a wall or a super brick. So I'll show you how to do that, of course, but I don't think you really need to if you know how to do those. Or that, it's one. So I'll still show you how to do it. You take your first short piece, wrap it around to make a second loop, so you have a loop and a strand. You take your second short piece, I think I'm zoomed in a little too much, there you go. Take your second short piece, you find the centers to all your pieces, you put the short ones in a row on your finger like this, and wrap them over so you have a loop on the left and a strand on the right. And if you were to turn your finger over, it'd be the exact same thing. A loop on the left, a strand on the right. You're going to take your last piece, do the exact same thing. I'm going a little faster, like I said, because you should know this. If you don't know how to do the super brick, then you shouldn't be doing this yet. So now you have 3 in a row. And these don't need to be super spread out. You can tighten them together if you want. So you can save space on your finger. Now you're going to take your long piece, should come as no surprise, and run it under all 3. Or all 6 loops. These are all 3 pieces of gimp, or lace, whatever you want to call it. And of course you're going to run that through until you get to the center of it. So it should come as no surprise. You're going to bring it over and under, over, under, over and under, from left to right. You're going to do the exact same thing on the right. Over, under, over, under, over and under. To the left. Sorry, I bumped my lamp. Pull that through. And make sure that's not twisted either. So now you should have this. And of course you're just going to pull it off your finger. Once you have that, you're going to pull it together like we always do. And most of the time when I make these, the strands are super uneven. Like you can see here. This is shorter than this. This is shorter than this. And this is shorter than this. This always happens, and even these, I'm sure. Yeah, they're always uneven, so I'm actually going to go back and try to even these out the best that I can. And you can do that as well. So, I'm going to do that, and I'll be back. Alright, so I've evened them out to the best of my ability. I'm sure they'll still come out uneven when I finish, but it is what it is. So what you're doing is you're just taking your strands, and instead of going directly across, we're going to go diagonally. So this is going to come down here. This is going to be brought up here. This is going to be brought upwards like this. This is going to be brought downwards like this. This is going to be brought upwards. This is going to be brought downwards. This is going to be brought upwards. This is going to be brought downwards. You're going to pull that together. And when you do a diagonal stitch, all the strands stay in the same places that they were from the previous stitch. So you can see there's a top left, bottom right on every single square or every single color on this lanyard. So you should have something like this. And it's going to kind of curl a little bit, but that's normal because the edges of the new stitch don't really have anything to sit on top of, so they curl when they're tightened up. And that's what it looks like from the top, and you're going to do that again. And this is all you're doing until you're ready to finish. Make sure your strands aren't twisted, because it does make it look kind of bad. Like, depending on how far I am in the lanyard before I notice that a strand is like that. Like, if I'm just already like so far into it, especially if it's an advanced lanyard, I just won't even try to go back. I'll just be like, whatever, it is what it is. But if I'm only a few stitches past it, I'll most likely go back and fix it. But I've done so many variations of the 3x1. I think it's the one that I actually do the most. So I know I do it a lot, and I'm very careful when I watch how my strands are twisting and if they're not twisting, and it's really easy for me to tell. And I always check every now and then when doing a lanyard if anything is out of place or if a stitch is too loose. I'll make sure to tighten it before I move on. So those are 2 stitches. You can see that because there's 2 white loops. We're going to keep going. I'll show you this 2 more times and then I'll finish this off camera. I think I said it in the Father Cobra video maybe, but I'm really looking forward to showing you more 3x1 variants. And there's going to be plenty of them in the 3x1, or in the advanced category, sorry. Like, thinking of just color schemes for these projects is really fun as well. So don't be afraid to really get like creative with your colors. And there's also a multicolored lace that I have, and it's really cool. And it can make a lanyard look so much more advanced than it is by using like a striped piece of Rex lace. One more, and then I'll finish this off camera, because this is all you're doing. You're bringing the top strand down to the right, the bottom strand up to the left. Sorry, hit the camera. We bring this to the top right. We bring this to the bottom left. Bring this to the top right. This goes to the bottom left. This will go to the top right. And this will go to the bottom left. And we're going to pull this together and tighten that up. And you can see you're starting to get the form. You can see it slowly starting to twist. And it's going to look really cool by the time you're finished, especially if you use a super cool color scheme. Alright, so that's all you're doing. I'll be back when I'm ready to finish up. Alright, so I've got my lanyard here. I'm ready to finish. And you're going to finish this the same way we did the wall and the stripe wall. Make a stitch, don't tighten it, and then bring the strands around underneath and through the spots in the middle. Come on. pull these strands tight. So you should have something like this. Now I'm going to cut the ends off. I'm going to throw those away. And you're done with the corkscrew lanyard. So that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next one.